We have continued the close cooperation with parts of the former TagLabs team, which has led to a real-time interface with the successor program OpenScanTools, OST. This enables the immediate visual inspection of point clouds in OST, e.g. after a block adjustment in Scantra or based on given pre-orientations. The sectional view of planes in Scantra is synchronized with the sectional view of the point clouds. This means that the position of the sectional plane in OST is also synchronized. Furthermore, the stations are colored uniformly in both programs. All import formats supported in Scantra can be used to create OST projects. Other functionalities include the display of scans in the 3D viewer. Deeper integration is planned for the next releases. For beginners, Jan Koch, the founder behind TagLabs and OpenScanTools, has created a tutorial series on YouTube that is well worth watching. Don't forget to check the link in the description below. The optical medium of glass, in particular, causes problems in some projects, whether due to refraction or total reflection of an emitted signal. Our developers have therefore created the option of discarding planes or existing identities by selecting them in individual bitmaps or the Matchmaker. In construction projects, it is common to use a project coordinate system that runs parallel to the building axis. If these coordinates are not available, it is possible in the new Scantra version to carry out this alignment along long walls, for example. The function is called up via the button with the blue cube in the Block Adjustment tab. In cases where blunders yield in a diverging block adjustment, our blunder detection was a savior in many cases. However, in particular cases, the algorithm was not able to identify any blunders and their location. Hence, our team has developed an entirely new algorithm for this challenging task. It is comparable to the adjustment of height networks. Since it is formulated as a linear adjustment, it will always converge regardless of magnitude and amount of blunders. A very helpful new feature is the selection and visualization of the stations that form the loop that contains the largest blunders. Hence, users can immediately adjust the selection using the block adjustment button, which will then converge and helps to resolve the issue. Roughly 8.5% of all people have some form of color vision deficiency, CVD. This genetic condition makes it hard or even impossible to distinguish certain colors, e.g., shades from green to yellow to red, that are commonly used in software. Hence, our team has added a new option under the tab Colors that deploys the OKB ITO color palette, which was specifically designed for people with CVD. In larger projects, many users usually process parts that belong together architecturally in a sequential manner within individual groups in Scantra. If algorithms are used to create relations across groups, it can happen that areas that have already been cleaned up are populated with new relations. To avoid extra work, it is now possible to create relations only between different groups. Up to now, the standard Windows compression solution has been used for archiving projects. However, this can crash for very large projects with several thousand scans. Additional options are therefore now available. First, the project database as well as the initialization file are saved without compression with the addition of a date and timestamp. Second, 7-zip can be used for compression. Or third, another installed compression algorithms can be used. As of now, Scantra assumed that complete panoramic scans would be processed. A new function now enables the assignment of 1 to n detail scans with respect to a mother scan. All associated scans are then given identical transformation parameters. This feature is particularly helpful for partial scans that feature artificial targets or regions of interest at greater distances that require a high spatial resolution. All associated scans are sorted into an identical data structure so that all points are inherently considered during processing. E57 files are capable to embed panoramic images within point clouds, yet point clouds as well as images have their own coordinate systems, which means that both need to be updated once scans are transformed into another coordinate system. Our team has now added this functionality under the existing entry, export selection into scan header. Up till now, the new Faro Scene API could only be used to connect to exactly one project. For clients who want to combine several Faro Scene projects, our team has implemented a solution that allows exactly this. During processing or exporting, Scantra recognizes that a scan belongs to a different project and automatically establishes a connection to it in a sequential fashion. Several kinematic scanners record vertical readings despite their unstatic characteristics. This information can now be imported and thus considered within block adjustments. It is obvious that the accuracy of this information is not as high as for static scanners. Hence, we have introduced a separate setting under the Kinematic tab that allows users to weigh vertical readings appropriately. The first release of Scantra Kinematic allows to subdivide kinematic laser scans based on timestamps to create semi-static laser scans. In cases where the speed of motion notably varies, for instance due to pauses, the geometrical length of trajectory subsections also varies. Hence, our team has added another option to subdivide kinematic point clouds based on the traveled distance along the trajectory. Note that this option can also be combined with the existing strategies. Our new polar module was designed for clients who either do not perform an adjustment of their polar observations in the scope of quality assurance and error estimation, as well as for users who want to perform an integrated adjustment that considers all data sources in one optimization. The new module allows importing raw polar observations from a total station in the following formats: Leica Hexmal, Trimble JXL, TechNet Beaton or Neptan, or a vendor-neutral polar format. Should a file contain false station or target heights, then a dialog after import can be used to correct certain entries. The correction process can also be performed after an initial import has already been completed.